So let's take a look of the paper sent by Sir Dexter so that we will be guided. Again, good morning. Welcome to our channel. This is Prof. Jojo Pangan. So we are here to dissect a case on China's Leso Group entering the US retail market. So these are the writers, three of them. We have Xi Jiangtao, Dongqing Wang, and Kenny Yu. So on the first part, they have written what's their group of company, who's the founder of the business. So the founder of the business is the chairman, China Leso Group. No, it's Mr. Wong Yun-hei. So he founded the business, the China's Leso Group. So here we could learn that he started his company in 1986. I fast recall, this is EDSA Revolution. 1986. Am I right? Hello po mga case writers. Am I right ba?
Yes, po.
Okay, thank you. So they started as plastic pipe manufacturer in Shandai, then a fishing village in the southern part of Guangzhou. So Guangzhou is in China. I have a friend here, a princess of Guangzhou by the name of Yaka Ping. She used to study, she took up MBA in the Ateneo, and then I was her advisor on her thesis. So luckily, she went to the Philippines to learn English. At the same time, she took Masters in Business Administration. Then again, after graduation, you could proceed taking up Masters in Business Administration, or you take up law school. No, if you intend to become a lawyer in the future, so it's very important to take up entrance examination and then proceed to law. Other than that, if you want to proceed taking up medicine, it will also do. No, it all depends upon you. So China's Leso Group, blah blah, is the largest pipe manufacturer in China. So that's in Guangdong, China, no? Okay. Remember the fishbone effect, no? It is also provided advisory consultancy services for construction and environmental projects. So they also deal with environmental projects. So Wong's main responsibility here, no, was the group overall strategic planning and business management, both domestic and overseas. So they have one project to rule out, and this is called retail strategy globally. So they were selling their products in retail as well as in wholesale. So when did the company started? China Leso Group was founded in 1986 in Shandai. No? So situated in Pearl River Delta. Shandai was known for fertile farms and rich aquatic ecosystem. So here's the writer. Kenny Yu prepared this case under the supervision of Professor Xi Jiangtao and Professor Dongqing Wang. No? So if you will be writing your paper, you could also place this as your annotations. No? Like for example, Joshua Cabresos prepared this under the supervision of Prof. Jojo Pangan. No? Or Hart Ramos prepared this case under the supervision of Jojo Pangan. Okay, so last edited was 2019. This is just latest case, no? Excuse me. So it was dubbed the counties of peace and rice. So that's the definitely because it's near the river, like here in Manikaan, we have a river and then we have a rice field, no? That's why the rice granary of China was born. So what does the Leso group of companies specialize? They are specializing in manufacturing of plastic pipes and residential and industrial construction inside a small primitive workshop. Wong worked with his wife and shipping zoo. You see, this is a strategy also in business. As an entrepreneur, your wife could be your partner in business. So in 2001, they have expanded in other parts of China. Meaning to say the company is growing, and later we will see that they entered into global market. So between 2009, the company established 10 more manufacturing facilities in these provinces of Guangdong, Guizhou, Sichuan, Hubei, Jiangsu, Henan, Hebei, and Heilongjiang provinces. So from plastic, they also do diversification. So they diversified. If you know, if we made notice, no, my dear case writers, they are discussing from the introduction until the central part of the story of the case, no? So here in the year early 2000, Leso began to explore opportunities outside China. Outside China. Meaning to say, as they diversify their products, no, from plastic pipes, so they had built their company to export customers in North America, South America, Africa, Southeast Asia. Most probably they went to the Philippines, no? So by the time Leso became a public company in 2010, it was involved in only production of plastic pipes and fittings, but also manufacturing. Now you see the other diversified products, polymers and other raw materials, machinery and equipment, as well as property development. Like take the case of Toyota, no? From Toyota, you can recall, no? Toyota started with an agricultural machine before they get into cars. So when they were doing good in cars, they were booming. So they shifted from agricultural machines, they developed more cars. And today's time, they are developing the Tesla car, the electronic car, electric car, no? Because they want to dominate in the market. So their products expanded from simple plastic pipes to building materials, home furnishings, to kitchen, to bathroom products, plastics, doors, and windows. So leveraging its strong brand presence in the construction and building industry, they began to ramp up its marketing and branding efforts in an attempt to reach and customers directly. So here, they are now innovating. They are creating, especially advertisements for their products. Advertisements and branding is very important in business, even in politics today. You see how BBM is being branded well, and Lenny is also branded well by their advertisers, but it seems that they have different directions. Okay, so let us look at the annotation here. This document is authorized for use only by Mr. Jorem Bandergs of HSBC. But Sir Dexter attended this seminar on case writing. That is why he has the power and authority to share to us this case of China's Lesos Group. So the title here is Entering into US Retail Market. So you see the strategy, looking into entrepreneurial insight. The strategy, they started from their home in China. And later when the products were booming in their place, getting well of sales, opening up a lot of branches in the provinces of China, and then it's time to move to a more mature market, and that's the US retail market, including Africa and Southeast Asia. So you see the strategy. That is where we could learn also from this case that it start to have a creation of products in the home market. Now, like here, if we start at Zamboanga City, like our agar-agar started here in Zamboanga City, now it's expanding, exporting its agar-agar to Korea. To Korea, converting it into plastics and sent back to the Philippines, export back to the Philippines in higher prices. So you see, in addition to growing organically, so let's take a look. For example, in 2016, Leso acquired 80% of Guangzhou Environmental Protection Engineering. From the fishbone, you see the Mother Nature, which provided consultancy services for project management, construction, monitoring of environmental and related projects for municipalities and corporations. So one specialty of this company was water treatment projects. Let us focus here. This is for environmental. So a lot of companies in the West Coast, the canning factories, for example, they should really have water treatment plant. A lot of them, they have their water treatment plant because all waste are being treated in the water treatment plant and then release it to the sea. So to avoid contamination of the fish and destroying the natural habitat of the fish. In 2016, Leso invested around 500 million for Water Services Incorporation in Shenzhen Stock Exchange. So if you may notice, they are also into stock exchange. So this is a very big company. So let's do downward. But there were challenges in the piping business. So you put a title every time you write the problem encountered by what company? Mr. Hart Ramos, what's the name of the company?
Yung sa akin, sir.
This case that we are reading.
Yung leso, sir.
Leso, very good. So what's the name of your company?
Continental Vape Lunch, sir.
Wow, Continental Vape Plan. Okay. So challenges. What are the challenges in the vape plan company? No? Like here in the piping business. Since they started with piping, no? So after experiencing booming growth for over a decade after 2000, the growth of new housing projects in which a large volume of plastic piping fittings were used, no? And became significantly unpredictable starting 2012. So given the regulatory uncertainty in the Chinese government of various policies, measures to curb the overheating property market. No? So the growth of infrastructure investment in water treatment projects at city and municipal levels also began to taper off. So this was partly due to the fact that many municipalities have already invested and installed their own water supply and treatment systems over the past 2 decades. Another change that impacted municipal spending on infrastructure was a structural reform by the central government that required city and municipal governments to shoulder the bulk of local government spending as opposed to relying on the central government to pay for their projects. So the piping sector had also since Leso entered into the market in the mid-1980s. According to statistics from China Plastic Piping Industry Association, there were over 3,000 plastics pipe manufacturers in China. China was the largest producer of plastic piping, producing 15.2 million tons of plastics pipes in 2016. Among them, however, only 300 had an annual capacity over 10,000 tons. So these top 15 manufacturers each had a capacity over 200,000 tons. Leso, with an annual capacity of 2.4 million tons, was the largest in China. So despite the competition and consolidation, the industry was filled with many small-scale manufacturers who were flooding. So this was the threat for the company, with lower quality products creating pricing pressure for all industry participants. So what insight could we derive here? Now that given China among themselves, they are competing one another. Do you agree with me, Mr. Derecho? Hello po, Derecho, do you agree with me? What about Ren Servano? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Nawala na si Derecho. So venturing outside China, you see the Leso going abroad was not unfamiliar to Leso. Over the years, the company have established bases and sales operations for its pipe business in Canada, India, retail operations in foreign countries. However, something novel for the company. The company's idea of retail was to connect overseas customers, designers, contractors with international furniture, home furnishing, and building material suppliers, including from China. So in the United States, they focus on home decor and furnishing market. So look at this. So they have a Home Depot in home improvements. For example, Ashley Furniture and Berkshire Hathaway Furniture were the top players in furniture, while Bed and Bath and Beyond, some goods imports with the leathers in home decor space. So there were also general retailers such as Costco. So they tie up, they have a joint venture with these small players for furniture. So Leso picked New York as the destination for its retail project outside China. The company purchased an underperforming shopping mall from liquidator that had taken over management of the mall in 2009 due to increasing competition. Newer malls in the area. The plan was to renovate the structure and create a one-stop shop for construction and household furnishing items for designers, contractors, and also homeowners. Take for example, look at Zamboanga City. We have a lot of Home Depot here for home improvement. Okay. There's a chat here about Diretso. Okay, point of entry. How did Leso get into the United States? So, what was the strategy of Mr. Wong? So, Mr. Wong started with work close to completion and the leasing agency, busy filing retailer spaces with new tenants. Meaning to say, they lease a building. Wong was preparing for the opening of New York market. So that was very, very ambitious, no? Though ambitious, but of course, his company was growing, no? So Wong wondered if Leso should mimic Home Depot and operate at the mall as a single brand and have products from all suppliers under one big box retailer instead, no? One big box. So the big box retailing is actually that of Sapos. Remember, Joshua? This was our idea before of your online store. No? The big box retailer. Okay, so this is the look into the measurement again in the fishbone. Look into the financial statement of China's Lesos Group entering in the US market. So you see in the first entry of 2013 with a revenue of $13,071, it was increasing to 2014 to 2015 to 2017 and to 2017. The style of accounting, this is actually the style of the French accounting. They go backward. No? For us, we started here, if this is the financial statement of Filipinos, we start with 2013, 14, 15, 16 until it grows up. So here you might wonder, you thought that in the first entry, it was $20,360. No, but this is too high because they started with 2013. So they have the gross profit, they have their expenses, their costs, profit before tax, profit after tax. So their financial position, their liabilities. So look at the ratios given, their net profits, no, are actually increasing. This is from 2013 to 2017. So they do not have a problem of sales, but probably they have to adopt strategy like Home Depot. So this is the example of building markets in China. No? In China, look at this. So the lesser group of companies in China. Oops, I could see my car here. No, it's a Toyota Corolla. Okay, so you see their companies. So Leso Home Center in China. And another exhibit here, no? Their investments. So they began exporting in 2004. So this is their bar graphs. They were into residential housing construction in China. So by the year 2010, their business was booming, and later it goes down. If you're into Forex, you look at this. Here you sell, and then here you buy, and then you sell again. Now you buy and sell. Anyone into Forex here? So in the United States, this is their sales. You look at their sales is very promising. You see, their sales is very promising. That is why China is neutral now in terms of war between Ukraine and Russia. Because if there's economic sanction, this store will be closed. So this is the exhibit, major retailers of furniture and home furnishing in the United States, whom their company are also supporting and supplying all those materials. No? So these are the Home Depots. So look at them. Location of Leso in the New York market. So they were able to penetrate New York. Why in New York? What do you think so? Anyone? Joshua? Why in New York? Why do they have to penetrate New York? Anyone? Heart? Renz?
Siguro sir kasi ano ba yan? Yung city sir, as in mismong city kasi then parang malaking opportunity para mag-expand siguro or mag-boom talaga.
Oh, very good. Since it is a big city, no, there's a potential for Leso to do more sales in terms of home market. No? These people in New York are actually very conscious of their home decorations. It's the land fashion capital of the United States, like in Paris. The people here are very conservative in terms of home furnishings and home improvements. So design of concept in Leso for New York market. So you see a very big Home Depot. Okay, So this is the end of the case. Thank you very much for listening and participating in our discussion this morning. Any questions so far?
Sir, isesend po niyo po ba yung sample case study nito na pinisend?
Na-sent na po yan earlier pa.
Thank you po.
You go back lang to your GC. Makikita ninyo doon yan sa GC po.